time zone. Welcome to this 12 FPS, Toonkind at 12 FPS. Uh, in whatever time that it is that you are listening to this, if you're listening to this between the hours of 2 a.m. and 7 a.m., please go to sleep.
Yeah.
My name is RJ. My name is RJ. I'm playing Yes today,
hmm
but I am joined by my lovely partner in crime. Lovely partner in crime. Let's introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Hex. I'm playing also yes. And by that I mean I'm playing one person, maybe two. I don't know how many people I'm playing.
Possibly two. One
Possibly
at
two.
least.
Yeah, one at least. um, we'll see how this all goes.
I love having the asterisk. It's so much
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Man.
oh boy.
Man, oh man. Okay, so there's a little bit of preamble necessary for this one. This uh you will need to at least vaguely know what the hell is happening with the Nickel Squad. Because this does relate to that one. Uh, and it may or may not also be wise to listen to the previous FPS that Hex and I did with the Nightmare Carnival,
Yeah.
just because I suspect that might get mentioned.
That
Uh,
very will that very likely will get mentioned, yes.
yeah, so, I mean, you probably could go into this one blind, but there will be references and context that you will just not have.
Yeah.
Um, you can't see it, but I'm shrugging. But, so, to actually get into this, we have another bit of preamble, because the Nightmare Carnival is not on the material plane. It's somewhere in the realm of dreams, I think.
Yes. Correct.
So they first gotta fucking get there.
Yes.
So,
And it's very difficult to get there. You people don't just go there, with the exception of Mercel, because favoritism. Um, it
listen,
yeah.
Marcel just does things.
Mercel just does things and is a special boy who is cursed with protagonist syndrome.
The
So
Wishing Star's favorite little boy.
he the wishing star's favorite little boy, for better and worse. But anyway, you can't just get to the Nightmare Carnival. You get pulled into the Nightmare Carnival. So actually getting there is kind of a feat.
It's also a little bit annoying because most of the time, asterisk, you don't remember your trip to the Nightmare Carnival once you wake up.
Yeah. That's it's again, it's kind of a safety mechanism of protecting itself by just being a vague weird dream nightmare that you have. So it's for all intents and purposes, if you want to go to the carnival and talk with the ringmaster, that's not just a thing you can just do. Like on a
Yep.
whim. Yeah.
It takes being a special little boy or just sheer bloody-minded determination,
Mm-hmm.
or, the ringmaster wants to have a chat with you,
Yeah.
which may or may not be the case for some of this group. Not all of it, but some of it.
Some of it. I can think of
In
a couple people. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but there is a spell that uh lets one kind of sort of go to the plane of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a spell rather aptly named Dream, which Ro has spent their better part of about 6 weeks finding the runes for, learning the runes for, and figuring out how to cast. But he's got it.
He's
He
got
has
it.
the spell now.
He's figured it out.
Eureka, apple falling, light bulb, however you want to describe it. This motherfucker has learned this spell because magic is his shit. He's not
Yeah.
the headmaster of a school of arcane for nothing.
Yeah.
But one of the things about the spell is that you can send yourself or willing creatures that you touch um, to act as the dream messenger. So Ro is adapting the spell a little bit to be able to bring more than one person, which is
Mm-hmm.
why part of why it took so long to do this.
Yeah.
But he's got it all in order. They're now sitting the fuck down in a very comfy place because this is going to take a while.
Yes.
And Ro will cast the spell.
Yep. So who all is going?
So it is Ro himself,
Mm-hmm.
it is Jacques and Asclepius, and Cara is hitching a ride whether they're aware of it or not.
Excellent. We love to see that. um, all right. So, in in probably fashion that they would expect for something like this, uh, when they're sitting waiting for the spell or whatever they're doing while the spell takes effect, and then the next thing the entire lot of them know, they are standing at the entrance to a carnival, and it's pretty sudden, and it's kind of, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna say violent, but that's the only way that I can describe just suddenly getting slammed with the sights and sounds of a carnival when
It's
previously you
that
were.
snap transition, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very violent transition of being in a quiet place while this spell takes effect to suddenly there are lights, there is fire, like from all of these braziers around. There is screams of delight. You can very easily tell that they are screams of delight. Um, there's just a low hum. There's frickin' barkers, shouting for people to come check out their stalls, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yep. And you all get a moment for this, and uh, to take a look around. Would anybody be rolling perceptions?
All of them will be rolling perception.
Cool.
Okay. Annoyingly, I can't find the background music for the source material, which isn't just the battle themes. Oh well,
Oh well.
doesn't matter. Need this, need this, need this. Oh, that's right, your perception is dog shit, isn't it? Oh no, it's not too bad.
Love to hear that.
Dog shit by comparison. Okay. So that one is that one, and that one. Oh, I need another one. I need another. Fuck it, I'll just roll one. Your perception is that's your persuasion. I'm looking at the wrong modifier. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, uh, that one. Yeah, that is the 6. Okay, so that is for Row. That
Okay.
is for uh Asclepius.
Yeah.
That is yeah, it's not even his most stupid modifier. That one is for Jacques. And then I need to roll one of these again. Uh, that one. Okay, well, somehow still not the lowest. Uh, there we go.
My God. I know. Level 20, yeah. So the first things that Ro, Jacques, and Asclepius notice is that there's a fourth with you.
Yep.
um, you all notice that now there's suddenly a fourth person with you in the form of Cara, who is here now. But uh, yeah, I would say definitely Jacques and Asclepius notice. Cara probably also notices. The sky is black. There are no stars in the sky, and it isn't just from light pollution, it is a very distinct emptiness to the sky that is interrupted only by the occasional pulse of blue. And it's a very steady rhythm that they realize emanates from the center tent that is much larger than the others, and they recognize that it is beating in time with a heartbeat. Um, they realize this because after a moment of all of them standing there taking everything in, that pulsing speeds up a tiny bit, and then there is a figure standing in front of all of you. Uh, Shockingly much taller than you, Jacques and Asclepius.
There was a little bit of oh huh. It's not often that they have to look up.
It's not often that they have to look up, but there is a figure standing in front of them who is very distinctly dressed. It is impossible to miss that, like, this is very clearly the Ringmaster. Everything about this outfit screams Ringmaster. Um, and he essentially just steps from between a pair of stalls to very pointedly greet you.
I think there's like a they snap transition to this, which is jarring for both Asclepius and for Ro, who are real kind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, everyone kind of pauses, looks down at Cara, who still kind of has that like porcelain doll aesthetic, but now looks much more like a Hollow Knight bug.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sort of kind of similar looking actually to the vessels. Um, but still very much a porcelain doll looking motherfucker. In Portable, because Portable. And then the other two look back up and go, oh huh, and then go, oh huh, again, and then
Yeah,
Ringmaster,
there is just a
and then
lot
Ro looks up.
there is a lot happening here.
Yeah, it takes Ro a second to notice the Ringmaster's appearance because he's still like, who the fuck?
Who is
Wait,
this?
wait, is this the town?
That is in fact the town. And a fun thing to note, you mentioned she looks like a Hollow Knight bug, or they look like a Hollow Knight bug. Um, that matches the aesthetic of the carnival too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cara looks like they fit right in here. Um, but Graves approaches the four of them. Uh, he doesn't bow, and if you want, you can roll insight on him. But he does give like a nod of his head in greeting. Um, and then he says, "Well, it's not very often that we get guests that make a point to come here."
Hold on, I'm managing insight rolls.
Yep.
2 seconds.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why I bother checking that one. It's the same fucking thing every time. Um. I don't remember yours though. Wait, did you two roll the fucking same? You did roll the same. Okay.
My God. Yeah, of course they did roll the same.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the insight rolls.
Cool. Y'all immediately get to ping that. Actually, let me roll him a.
Ro is still a little bit too what the fuck to actually roll insight.
Is that a? Oh, that's a. Okay.
His insight is a +3, so.
Oh. What is your 13? Okay. So, Cara, is the only one who picks up that Graves is actually nervous and on edge. To everyone else, he is the calm and collected ringmaster who is here to greet these people who have just shown up on his door.
Okay. Graves, I'm really sorry. This thing is like 3 feet tall at most.
Yep.
They are short, always.
Always
Um,
short. That is fine.
they do take a step forward and bow. Uh, and then, oh god, how deep did I make this? I think I made it as deep as I can go. Our apologies, Ringmaster. We did not mean to startle you.
Graves will kneel down to Kara's level, um, once they speak, because I forgot you made their voice as deep as fucking possible. Uh, I forgot that. Uh, but there's faint recognition. Uh, when he seems to realize exactly who this is. Uh, and he will very carefully extend a hand for Cara to take, or extend a hand to Cara. And he says, I. What does he say here? Well, it has been quite some time since you have graced our carnival with your presence. I believe it was before even my tenure as Ringmaster. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
They will take the hand and shake it very delicately because they are a very delicate little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but their head tilts a little bit. She kind of remorsefully is not quite the right word to use, but it's all I've got. Like that kind
Mm-hmm.
of distant, um, where like you're like sorry, but it's not like oh I feel actually guilty about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Apologies, but I think that might have been a previous iteration. This one has no memory of ever coming to this place.
A pity, but I suppose that we are in good company together. The heart at least remembers you, or a previous you, and it is. He thinks for a minute of how to express this into words. Uh, it is relieved to see that you are still here.
Not for lack of trying on certain elements.
Such is the case for things that are not understood. Now, tell me, what brings you to my carnival?
We were curious. We know of this place from several. We know of one who was in this place.
Graves will stand up at that one. Not like abruptly, but he does just rise to his feet. Um, and he says, I do hope you are not here to cause trouble in my carnival.
No such thing. We merely wish to speak with you.
Very well, then. And he will finally now turn to look to the other three. And he doesn't extend a hand so much as he nods his head again, like in that, like, greeting bow. Um, and he says, very well. Please, introduce yourselves. Walk with me.
I think. Hang on, hold on. I had to
Yep.
check your spells. Did I give you this one?
Did you give me what one? Or no, did you give them what one?
Oh right, yeah, they just have that one. Um, Cara does make a gesture.
Uh-huh.
Now, they are being carried by an unseen servant.
Hey!
Short legs.
Yeah. Graves might have offered to carry Cara if they were more familiar with one another, but
Yeah. It's just easier this way.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
oh, that's right. You're mostly barred. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Hey, Bard, shake hands.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they summon an unseen servant to pick them up and carry them around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, A, extra, B, short legs, and C, oh god, people's necks.
Yeah.
um, Jacques will go first. He offers the same kind of like greeting, nod, bow, and goes, "Greetings, I am Jacques Macabre, mayor of Halloween Town. This is my husband, Asclepius Ash. He's the head of our head of justice, and this is our head of necromantic businesses, Ro van der Rotterdam."
Graves nods, nods, nods. You may refer to me as Ringmaster Graves, or simply Ringmaster.
That is our pleasure.
So, tell me, what is it that is so important you must seek out my carnival? I have a few guesses, but if you hear it to talk, there must be some important things.
Ro like looks at Jacques Asclepius, um, and then kind of goes, there is a matter that I wish to discuss with you, and then there is a matter that they wish to discuss with you.
Mm.
I am not sure which we should handle first. Uh, let us handle mine first. I think that would be simpler, so to speak.
Very well.
Um, I have recently well, not recently, but I have made the acquaintance of a vampire by the name. Oh fuck! What the hell is your name?
Cassius
Like your whole
Sorel.
name?
Cassius Sorel Yoon Deed Blackmont the Third.
Yep. Imagine that he says that. He seemed to imply that you were the ones that turned him. Is that correct?
Indeed, I was. Cassius is my thrall.
Ah. There's a visible pause as like he tries to think of the best way to put it, and then you can see the fuck it flip across his face, and then he goes, "I am sure that you're already aware, but he has very bad manners. I do not mean to disparage you in any way. I'm assuming he is, shall we say, stubborn."
Stubborn, combative, contrary,
Yes, that sounds
bullheaded.
right. Ay, ay, ay. He kind of takes his monocle off, pinches his bridge of his nose, resituates it, and goes, "Well, I think you may find he is slightly less of those things now. Something has happened to, shall we say, scare him straight."
I I have seen glimpses of what he gets up to. Pity I am unable to interact with the waking world, else I may have been able to help steer some of those poor decisions. As it is, I can only deal with the aftermath, and offer what little I am able, though he does not. He does not tend to seek or want my aid.
In truth, even if you could interact with the waking world, I do not think he would listen. It is a miracle now that he is. But I wish to ask for what you have attempted to teach him already, such that I can tailor mine own lessons to him.
Graves nods, and he tilts his head back, thinking. I tried to first to control his getting him to control the urges and understand what he can and cannot feed on. Uh but well, And he just spreads all of his arms in an open gesture of, you see how well that went.
There is a sympathetic nod.
Um, I understand that the circumstances of his turning were not great. And when he expressed more than when he expressed such an extreme desire to have nothing to do with myself, I figured it would be best to just let him figure it out on his own. And when he decided he had enough, he knew where to find me.
Sometimes that is the only things that you can do.
It is unfortunately all I am really able to do. As I said, if I were able to interact more, I probably could have helped him more. But this is what we have.
Ro is very much, like, not entirely happy with that response, but it's less on your part and more on, like, Thrall's Cassius, you know?
Yeah.
Minor frustration on that front. Um, although he does seem to be thinking about several things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe expect changes in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on a similar note, is there any differences between his kind of vampire and the general standard that I should be aware of?
Graves thinks a moment. And he this is me now also thinking, because I know Cassius is the kind that needs invited to enter any place. And I don't know if that's a common thing for vampires in D&D.
Um, that's a good question. Uh, let's take a look. Yes, okay. So I'm seeing oh some of the higher level ones that are not also, part of an adventure that they do have forbiddance as a weakness.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Graves will still mention that just because it is something that is vaguely, kind of, I wouldn't know if it was rare, but it is something that's kind of unique in that regard. He does not need to feast purely on ink or blood. He is also able to feed on color, which I do not know if he mentioned that to you or not.
Not in so many words, but it had become very apparent.
He nods.
There's like uh he pulls out yeah, he pulls out a piece of a piece of parchment and a thick charcoal and like begins scribbling notes, pauses, considers whether he'll have these notes when he wakes back up, and then shrugs and continues writing anyway.
Incredible. Graves will he'll mention that. He'll mention that oh, that is he will mention that it is something that he should be aware of, cuz I think this is me going, I think this is how this works, and so I'm going to say it's how it works, which is uh Cassius shouldn't be able to make thralls the same way he was made. Um but as he gets stronger, that could change.
Hmm. That is a good point. He starts scribbling a little bit faster.
Right now, he is still young, still learning, still naturally coming into his own power. But I suspect if he were to stop fighting it and actually embrace it, that could change fairly quickly.
Hmm.
You may want to make him aware of that.
I shall. He's a stronger vampiric lineage than I am, then.
Graves, you get the impression he's smiling. It's impossible to tell from behind the mask. It is. I mean, my lineage is as old as the heart.
Ro, like, nods in a, yeah, no, that's fair, cutaway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. You're really old.
I'm simply one of many, many scions of a rather minor vampire house. It's the only source that I can make off from my own necromantic abilities rather than my vampiric ones.
Graves nods. Like, he. Excuse me. I tend to. I don't rely on my vampire abilities often. They are, shall we say, a secondary to what I am. That it happens to be the best way to deal with the situation Cassius found himself in was really just a matter of circumstance.
Hmm. Makes a few more notes with a curious look. He's not gonna ask.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super his business unless it becomes relevant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But he is, curious.
Yeah. Graves is not going to expound on that unless he is asked, so.
Cassius lore will have to wait for later then.
Cassius lore will
Tragic.
have to wait.
Alas. Oh well.
Oh well.
Ro finishes, or finishes making his notes and then starts reading them over and gestures at Jacques and Asclepius to keep going.
Yep.
Um, very much like, I've got what I need here. To which, I think it's Asclepius who picks up the narrative at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how would he phrase this? The person that we spoke to. God, wait, I have to differentiate his voice and Cara's voice. Hang on. The person that we spoke to, who had spoken with you before, seemed to imply that a being known as the Thrall exists here as one of your contemporaries.
Graves will nod. That would be Nirvana.
Interesting name choice.
They are the ones who chose it.
Hmm. Do you know what they seek in the waking world?
I am only privy to a small portion of it. Per our agreement, Nirvana's affairs are their own, and so long as they do not interfere with the Carnival, then I am to not interfere with theirs. Which is a long roundabout way of saying, no, he does not know. He may or may not care.
The husbands exchange a look again, and then this time it is Jacques who speaks up and goes, "They intend to destroy in part or in whole one of Anquel's gods, so that they are able to instate their own god back in that position. A god that has been long dead. If I'm not mistaken, this will consume them whole. I do believe that rather interferes with your carnival.
Graves seems to think a moment. And his head inclines as if upwards, as if he's listening. And he says, I do believe you have some of your information wrong. Nirvana does not intend to die with the fruition of their plans.
That's so.
He taps a finger against his mask, kind of rhythmically. I am not privy to much of what they do, but the heart is. They do not intend to die. Their plan, whatever it may be, is reliant on a conduit. Thus, if they should succeed, they still will be part of our carnival, and our agreement will still be held.
Forgive my ignorance then. I was under the assumption that they were rather the host for this undead deity, and that removing it would kill them.
You seem to imply that they are intending to resurrect their god.
Is that not what this would achieve?
They are merely wanting to change Erasure and replace it with something new. That I don't believe is... I do not believe they intend to make it their god, or if they have done so, then it would only be a portion of it, but... And Graves is now kind of... he's kind of thinking along as well, trying to follow this logic path that has been presented to him. From my understanding, there is not enough left of that god to actually create something new. Unless the conduit itself had some. But then how would you transfer a piece of it?
Hey Graves, what's your passive perception?
24.
Yeah, okay. You can very clearly see uh the hand that Jacques is not using for his cane quietly slips to take one of Asclepius' hands.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He doesn't comment on that. He's not privy to what their whole plan is. But he just kind of like gestures with a hand. As I said, it's the minutia of it is not something I am typically privy to. But if it has concerned you enough that you are now here at my carnival asking for answers, clearly I will need to give this a second look. If only to prevent someone more hostile coming in.
Oh god, I need to go deeper. At this point, Cara pipes up, and they go, they've made it quite clear that they intend on destroying me and mine if they can.
Graves. Man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He's like,
It's all good.
Graves just kind of inclines his head and he says, and if they succeed, you will be sorely missed. However, I must admit, I am failing to see what I am able to do to prevent all of this.
It's not that we seek you to do anything per se. We come mostly seeking information. Anything you can tell us about them would be beneficial.
He kind of nods there. That, I do believe, I could permit. Especially with. Especially since it seems that you have actually made headway in helping my little thrall. With a pointed look at Ro.
Ro wins by doing something.
Ro wins by doing something. So, I guess, ask your questions.
How much of Nirvana is aware when they go to the carnival and when they leave?
They are fully aware.
So they remember their time here?
Indeed, they do. They are, much like Cassius, they are bound to this carnival and are able to remember and are able to be there and are able to come here at will. Our agreement is that when Nirvana sleeps, they dream of the carnival and they serve their time here. And when they wake, they are free to do as they wish. Until such a time as they pass, at which points we will see what happens when something without a soul passes.
So they do not actually gain power from the heart?
No, they do not.
Interesting.
That for them to gain power from the heart would have required more of an agreement than they were able to make.
That does sound about correct.
They offered a lot. They didn't have a lot to give.
From what I have seen as well, I don't know how much they are allowed to give, even if they had such things to offer.
Graves inclines his head there, and in agreement. They made our agreement many, many, many centuries ago. I think now. At the time, they had more to offer than they do now. But even still, it was not much.
They had more to offer?
They were more of themselves then. More of. And he pauses, seems to be debating if he should even give this information, and then inclines his head almost as if in thanks, and he says, when they were still Matthias.
So you say that they are not Matthias now?
I would argue they are more. I would argue that they are more of their god than they are anything else. It has infected them.
That would explain the tentacles.
Indeed.
If if I may ask a question along those lines,
Hmm.
how are they able to be here if they are almost entirely possessed by the god?
There is still a fraction of them that is human, that is mortal, as much as they may try to deny it.
Is there any chances they may be able to regain that mortality one day?
Graves seems to think. There would be very little left. Uh, as he talks, he actually starts to illustrate what he's saying. He conjures a mote of fire in his hand and begins to like sculpt it as he talks. Removing all of the pieces of their god would leave very little left that would actually be a person. But there is still a humanity in there. It just does not. It would not be able. It would not be able to last long on its own. It would require help and perhaps a lot of magic to do so. And as he illustrates, he kind of forms the fire into a person and then just starts like removing bits and pieces of it. And then when he says it would require a lot of magic, a different color fire springs up to replace those bits and pieces removed.
Ah, I see. You can roll insight on that if you want. Yeah. It gives you stupid modifier.
It's actually not that, like, comparatively, his insight is not that stupid, and he actually rolled abysmal, so he probably doesn't get this.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
I don't think so. That's an 11.
Oh,
Yeah, he rolled a 2.
that's rough, buddy.
Yeah!
Okay, you don't get Jacques. Wait. Fuck it, I'm letting you see this. You don't get
Hey.
Jacques part of it, but you do spot the guilty kind of quick glance from Halloween Town to its anchor.
Oh. Oh. I see. I see. When I'm sad
Smile.
now.
Smile.
I see.
I I think the real question is, does Graves have the context to understand that look?
Um, that I feel like would past iterations of Halloween Town have had an anchor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I would say then he might. Let me just roll a straight intelligence just to see if. Wow, that's really helpful. Thank you for that flat 10
Roll a
on the
10.
dice. Yeah.
Love it when that happens.
Perfectly average. So I think I feel like if he this sounds really harsh to put it this way, but it's the best way I know how. I feel like if he cared more, he would put the pieces together, but right now other things are taking priority.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we're under different circumstances he probably would have, but as it stands he's more focused on the whole nirvana thing, so he's not putting that piece to get those pieces together.
He could have that realization later on. It's
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, oh man. Alright. Where the fuck were we before that happened?
Huh?
Right, yes. The humanity and we need the magic. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Ro kind of, again, does not look entirely happy with that answer, but that's more along the line. Again, it's not like you're He's angry at Graves. It's more just the general circumstance that he's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
about.
Yeah. Graves will add in, if Nirvana does in fact perish, this would in fact be what would see them fully in the carnival. They would be more of it than they would be more carnival than mortal at that point, but they would still be here fulfilling their role.
What
AK
exactly is their role in the carnival?
Graves, you get the feeling that this is a very shit-eating grin. They tell fortunes and provide information to guests who need it.
There's a pause, and then all three of them crack up in like different ways. Like Asclepius raises a hand to his mouth to cover his smile. Ro straight up looks away, fighting back a grin, and Jacques just kind of chuckles a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Graves, again, equally, you can tell he is smiling. You can hear it in his voice. Yes, they have been doing this for quite some time. They are resigned to their fate.
Quite a
Is
little encyclopedia then.
do what?
Quite a little encyclopedia then.
Indeed.
Oh man, they will recover their composure after a couple seconds. There is another quick little glance between the husbands. Um, and then would they bring this up now? I think yes, they probably would. Um, Jacques folds his hands on the top of his cane and goes, "Point of clarification, if I may. Your deal is with Nirvana, is with the thrall, yes?"
If you wish to get technical, my deal was with a Matthias. Was with Matthias when he was still Matthias. But my deal is in fact with Thrall.
So if they were to, I don't know, reincarnate or some such, they would not have your deal.
A reincarnation of a soul is something that a reincarnated soul is a fundamentally different soul. Graves kind of I wouldn't call it a squint, but there is just a hint of like what are you getting at in his tone.
And if perhaps this reincarnation of the soul was, shall we say, a point before that deal, plucked from its time and moved into this one.
Graves seems to think because he's clearly trying to puzzle out what you are saying and what you are not saying. Um, and then his head inclines again as if he's listening. And eventually he says, are you implying that the soul of Matthias Oleand was taken and pushed through time to now?
If I am, would they be subject to this deal?
When we made our agreement, Nirvana offered their soul, not knowing that they had no soul to give. That.
One can
Oh, go ahead.
one cannot offer collateral they do not possess, even if they thought they did possess it. If the collateral did not exist at the time, then it would not be available to reap.
The nature of our agreement is such that it is holden to a Matthias Oleand. And if this soul is still Matthias Oleand, he would be subject to our agreement. He doesn't. The thing. Roll insight for me, real quick, with that statement.
Yep. Sure, I'll roll it for all four of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's cocked. Hang on. Ooh, one of those is nat 20. Two of those is nat 20.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, hang on. 20 plus 13. Just so I can spell names. 20 plus 15. Nope, not 15, 17. Fucking Cara. 18 plus 15 is Asclepius. And then I need to reroll one of these for Ro, who actually did pretty damn well.
Nice.
It's only a 19, but
you know, I would honestly argue that would be enough. Because he's not trying to hide anything or be like, whatever. God, freaking, my God. 20.
Disparity
20.
in the rolls is amazing.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, okay. Alright, okay. My God. So with all of those bonkers rolls, Ro at least actually no, you know what, I'm gonna say Ro doesn't get this. Ro, the way Graves says it sounds final. Like that is just his the agreement is with Matthias Oleand. There is no nuance here. With plus 30s, Jesus fucking Christ. You get that he says this and he is clearly repeating these words, but he himself is not fully convinced of them in the context of what you are presenting.
Ro is gonna shut the fuck up and let the actual ambassadors talk this one through.
Yeah.
He very much sees that they've spotted something that he hasn't and keeps his mouth shut. It's actually Cara that tips her head and goes, when would you attempt to collect the collateral for this deal?
Graves seems to think about that one. And he doesn't seem to come up with a clear... He doesn't seem to have a clear answer at first. And then eventually he says, When Thrall's time when Nirvana's time comes, that will be the time to collect. And if this other, there are air quotes around other, Matthias, is still alive, there would be complications. But the heart would find a way. Which, with that 37 insight, is Graves saying, the heart knows, it does not want you to know.
Would the heart be prepared to take on the others that have claim to this soul?
Has this soul gone making deals with others?
I do not know the full extent, but I am aware that it was divine influence that moved it to this time.
What sort of divine influence?
I do not believe I can say.
Graves seems to think really hard. Like, he's thinking very hard now. Which, for a fun bit of flavor, what's the lowest passive perception here?
That would be Ro. Like, without a doubt, that would be Ro.
Uh-huh.
Cara's is 27, Asclepius is 25, Jacques is 23, Rose is 18.
Okay, so all of those are enough for you to realize. As you've been walking with the Ringmaster, initially you had been walking around just kind of in the carnival, like there are people and children running around past you all. It's been, pretty hustle and bustle all around you, but not like crazy so. As you've taken a turn down this little avenue of thought, Graves turned a corner, and then suddenly you're not in the main streets of the carnival anymore. You are now actually walking around behind the tents, and there are no people. In fact, the sounds of the carnival seem a little more muted than usual, as Graves is thinking. You don't get the impression that it's a threatening thing. This is more this is privacy, because this is something extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
So, just a fun bit of flavor while Graves is thinking very hard about divine intervention and what that can mean and what that entails and what he can do about that. And still rolling off those bonkers perceptions, even Ro can see this eventually when he comes to not a realization, but a conclusion. And I'm gonna say he doesn't seem happy about it, but not because he's not it's not him, it's the heart that's not happy, so he's parroting what the heart says, basically. And he says, the agreement made with Matthias Oleand was made when the heart was greedy and took what it wanted. It has been some time since that agreement. and the heart has learned much in that time. If this Matthias is different from Nirvana, it is entirely possible that that reincarnated soul will be different enough to not be beholden to our agreement.
From what I've seen, having had discussions with both of them, if they did not share the name, you would not assume they are the same person.
Graves kind of inclines his head a little bit. Is that so?
The Matthias Oleand of now is hurt, but he's healing. He is a very kind young changeling.
Graves kind of chuckles at that. Nirvana was also a very kind changeling. It is a wonder what millennia will do to one, though.
I don't think it is much the millennia as the influence of corrupting forces.
Graves inclines his head, concedes that point. All I am implying is perhaps they are not as different as as you initially think. There are subtleties to Nirvana. If you happen to ever deign to speak with them, you pick up on them. They are more mortal than they would admit. At least in certain ways.
I'm sure that is correct. But as it stands, Matthias Oleand would not risk destroying the world to satiate a grudge.
I do hope you are correct on that. We do not need two thralls in this world.
Asclepius just kind of smiles, and he goes, "Influencing forces."
Hmm. I s- Fuck.
Don't die! Oh my gosh.
I'm good. Let me have a sippy.
Take a fucking sip, babes.
Oh, man. Well, what I was gonna say was he just kind of inclines his head to agree with that. And I don't think he follows it up with anything. Hmm. Oh, no, I know. Um he does make he does make an offhand I might wish to speak with this one then. This
Uh,
one being Matthias.
if you do, I would recommend Do not for, forewarn him that you are a vampire. He has bad experiences with such beings. He still does not like speaking to myself.
Graves ducks his head, nods. Very well. But if he is as different as you claim, then I will need to see for myself so that the heart may make an accurate judgment.
Certainly.
Graves kind of nods. Okay, good. He might have expected a little bit more pushback there, but hey.
I would recommend speaking to Gregory first. They have been living in the same house together.
He, again, kind of tilts his head. And why Gregory?
Well, I'm assuming given that when Cassius collapsed asleep and began growing weeds, Gregory also collapsed asleep and began growing weeds, that you are at least a little familiar with him. As I said, they have been living in the same house. Gregory was one of the people to rescue him from the vampire he was held under. And for all that he can be rather dense, I do believe that Gregory has a bit more insight than he is aware of, or perhaps allows himself credit for.
Graves will nod. He does. You get the distinct impression that he kind of grins. I wouldn't say it's sheepishly, but like it's a knowing grin with the whole sprouting weeds thing because oops, yeah. He didn't do that. He didn't do that part, but the whole falling asleep part he did do. Whoopsie poopsie.
Oopsie doopsie.
Oopsie
The heart
doodle.
had a little fucky wucky.
To be fair, to be fair, Gregory wasn't pulled in directly. He just happened to be close to Cassius. But hey, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine now. Distantly, there is a distinct shout as a certain pumpkin gets dunked in the dunk tank.
Yeah, absolutely shit on you, stupid pumpkin.
Yeah.
Well, it is of course only a suggestion. We ourselves do not have any quarrel with you. I thought it prudent to forewarn of potential quarrelers, so to say.
Say that again, you cut out.
He said, "We don't have any quarrel with you. We thought it prudent to warn of potential quarrelers, so to say."
Yeah, okay.
And then he pauses, gets kind of a look on his face, and goes, "That demigod may also have an issue if they go the way I think they will, but that remains to be seen."
Graves bristles a tiny bit there.
All this looks like, "You good?"
I have met the demigod. He is. He intruded rather rudely into my carnival.
Yes, he's not exactly one for manners.
Chaos rarely is.
From what I've heard, better chaos than ruin.
Graves. Would Graves know of the Weave's fates?
Roll religion.
Hey, you don't have that. That's cocked. Let's try that again. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Oh, you actually do have that. I forget you're a bard.
Bard.
That's wait. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What
Is he cooking?
what's one of your features I can never remember?
Is he cooking?
He might be cooking. Hang on. Nope. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Dun 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 dun. I can do this again. What up? Hey. Okay. That's much better. What's your fucking religion modifier? Not great because you don't have intelligence. It's fine. It's a 22 though.
Pretty good. Yeah, okay. Well, it sure fucking sounds like one of the Weave's fates, given the reference to better than or better than ruin in the context of chaos. You're
Yeah,
not entirely sure of who that might be, but it sounds bad.
it does sound bad, and that realization does kind of recontextualize a little bit more because he had one of the weave's fates in his carnival. Ha 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 ha
Yeah,
ha.
about that.
Yeah. And he just kind of that explains a lot.
I cannot speak for all of them, but peace is delightful. If you do ever get the chance to speak with them.
If he will permit an entry into the carnival, that is.
Hilts the head?
I can pull. We can pull people into the carnival, but unless we are. Unless I am aware of them specifically, it is hard to pull specific people in without first meeting them.
There's a very quiet little mutter from Ro. Wait, how do you meet someone if they don't what?
Graves chuckles. The carnival pulls in dreamers who are close to the veil. Like the veil, he gestures when he says the veil as if to imply like the carnival itself. Um we do not pull everyone in every night, and we do not pull the same people in every time. It is random. But once they are in, if they happen to leave an impression or show a strong, what's the word I'm looking for here? Affluence? Resonance? Resonant. If they happen to show a strong resonance with the carnival, we are then able to deliberately pull them back in.
Asclepius hums. Have we seen any elves walking around here?
Um, you know, honestly, you've really just seen a lot of tunes.
Hmm. Got it.
There have been a couple of real kind. Um, there's a very big half orc that you noted. But for the most part, it's just been a lot of tunes, a smattering of humans, and that's really been it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so Asclepius just kind of hums in that, maybe not then kind of way.
Oh,
Elves have weird rules, dude.
they do. That's why they don't go to the carnival.
Yeah.
I don't even think they can get deep enough to dream, let alone get pulled in. So yeah.
Well, they do dream, quote unquote, but I believe they're like their dreaming is mental exercises such
Uh
as the flavor text.
okay. So yeah, no, there are no elves in the carnival.
Yeah, makes sense. They once again like glance at each other, like checking if anyone else has any questions. Um, at which point I think Cara pipes up and goes, "Will I be able to return? You think?"
Graves looks down to Cara and it actually doesn't take as long. He says, "I see no reason why you would not. Though I believe your anchor will have to come with you. Not by virtue of just or solely by virtue of your connection."
Makes sense to me. I should enjoy doing this again then, although perhaps with more enjoyable topics of the conversation.
Indeed, and perhaps I can even offer you a show.
There is very much the impression of a smile, um, under the mask.
You get the impression that Graves is also smiling. Is there anything else that you would like to know I can answer?
I believe we have had all our questions answered. Although, is there perhaps a better way to contact you if we need to? I should hate to startle you again.
Now that I am aware, the your method will be fine. It unfortunately, just by the nature of how we exist, we can only be accessed via dreams. If you would like a more reliable way of answer, you are always welcome to ask my thrall.
Truly noted. Is he aware of such an offer?
Graves kind of shrugs. I do believe
There,
he will be more inclined to help you than he would myself.
there is a little bit of a wry smile at that.
Like, I can't make him do anything, but you might have some luck.
Well, we can but hope he outgrows his stubbornness soon.
I would love to see that happen. It has. It has been very challenging to be able to only watch.
Ro gets a look on his face that's very much just like challenge accepted, but not about not about Cassius. This man is gonna try and make a way for the Nightmare Carnival to interact with the mortal world, and it is gonna go just
Oh
the
no.
best.
Oh
It's
no.
just gonna go so well. It's
Bro,
literally
that
not
is
gonna
such a
blow up in his face.
that is a terrible idea. Bro, don't do that.
Listen, listen, listen. He's a wizard. He has to have a little bit of hubris.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Thankfully, the others all see it. And Asclepius immediately goes, Row. He goes, what? I didn't even say anything.
Graves looks between the group of you curiously.
In town. I have not said anything. Did I say anything? No, I did not say anything. These accusations are baseless and unfounded.
Dare I ask?
You can ask. I have no idea what kind of answers they are expecting, because I have not said anything. You don't need to. He just like makes an offended noise and turns away.
Graves seems to just chuckle. He has no idea what you all are going on about. That is fine.
the the unseen servant lifts Cara up such that they can pat Graves on the shoulder, and they just go, "Don't worry about it."
I will not. They are clearly more equipped to handle him than I am.
The council balance out each other's strengths and weaknesses. They are all very good friends.
Graves kind of inclines his head at that, curiously. And he simply just says, I see. AKA Graves' voice, I don't have friends. What do you mean they have friends? Graves, Graves, honey, you have friends. You just don't know it. Don't worry about it.
I think they just pat him on the shoulder again, like, yeah.
That's
You keep
fair.
thinking that, buddy.
You keep thinking
Keep
that.
thinking that, buddy.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they continue hovering back at the height they were previously, and they just go, "Thank you for your hospitality. Once again, we apologize for somewhat forcing it upon you."
Graves uh waves like a dismissive hand. It is quite all right. You are. This was honestly the most welcome intrusion into my carnival that I have had in quite some time.
Sage nod, and then we will tell Chaos to knock first next time.
It will be greatly appreciated. But it would seem I have held you all long enough. And at this, he actually does, in fact, with all of the flair of that you would expect of a ringmaster, give a very sweeping bow, and puts his fucking plus 22 to performance to good use when he does that.
Nice.
Yeah.
The others all bow back as well, with varying degrees of flourish.
Mm-hmm. I will not keep you much longer. I am sure you have much to discuss. And if there are no objections, he is going to shunt you from the carnival.
Yeah, they will just give their goodbyes.
Cool. You are standing there in the carnival, and then, much just like you are waking up, suddenly you are not. And you are back wherever you started. I assume you are in the manor.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for fun, roll me wisdom.
What, wisdom or wisdom saves?
Wisdom saves, actually. We'll say it's a save.
Okay. Right. Which of you fuckers has?
Asclepius gets advantage.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure he needs it, but okay.
He might not, but I'm just saying he does for
That's
reasons we discussed in DMs.
he did need it. The first one was a nat 1, the other one's a nat 20. That's a 30 for him. And then the other three. Uh, oh, Ro, come on, buddy.
Nope.
It's a 10 total.
Yeah, okay.
Uh, Jacques has a 14, and Cara has that's a 23, I think. I can't do math. Yeah, 23.
Okay, cool. So, Jacques and Ro, um, you're vaguely aware that you did, in fact, dream of the carnival. You you don't remember quite the details, just that the general gist of it was amicable, and you left not like you left feeling however it was that you were feeling when you did. Like, so it must have gone well? Question mark? Uh Cara and Asclepius, you do in fact remember. It's still hazy, a little dreamlike. It if you move Asclepius anyway, if you move too quickly, like to get out of, to shift and whatnot, you kind of lose fragments of it. But you generally remember what went on.
Hmm. Yeah.
And for funsies, Ro, your notes
Hmm.
survive.
Woohoo!
That was a 17 on the dice, so your notes survive.
Hey.
So at the
Sweet.
very least, Ro, hey, I got answers. I don't remember them, but I got them.
Ro's lesson plan survived. Yeah. Like, row your boat. Ro immediately snaps too, because the whole sleeping thing is kind of new to him.
Yeah, that also explains why he forgot immediately, because if you move too fast after dreaming, you forget it a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh well.
But he
Um,
snaps awake, and then it's just, oh, I have notes.
no, it's interesting. Um, yeah, Jacques kind of lays there for a second, like, oh, that's strange. What the fuck? Um, Cara is the town and
Yep.
therefore can't move quickly.
Yep.
But Asclepius is very much used to coming out of deep meditative trances, because half of his fucking spells require that.
Yeah.
Fucking clerics.
Yeah.
Asshole clerics. Yeah, so he kind of sits still for a very long moment, centering his breathing, allowing himself to come back to his body normally,
Yeah.
grounding himself and whatever the fuck is around, and then just kind of goes, oh, well, that was informative. Oh, Ro, you should check your pockets. What do you? Ooh! Oh, right. Well, I don't remember, writing this, but I'm assuming we got answers then. Yeah, yeah, we did. Some at least. Matthias might need to change his name, although I don't know if that'll have any effect on it.
Good luck.
We'll figure it out. Damn, it's not even like Decimal has a last name for him to take.
Yeah. Decimal, you need to get a last name.
Yeah. Asclepius and Cara will fill the other two in on what precisely the fuck happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very much not mentioning the idea Ro had, because wizard hubris is a thing to be feared.
Wizard hubris is in fact a thing to be feared. Thank God he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Unless I wanted to be really funny, but no.
Yeah. They fill they fill each other in and kind of sit there contemplating the next steps. Uh, Jacques had, like Ro, pulled out parchment to note down everything. Because he hadn't had the wherewithal to do that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But he is doing it now to add to their notes in the war room.
Yeah.
I think actually Asclepius will cast sending over to Craigery and just like be advised you may get pulled into the Nightmare Carnival. You'll know when you get there.
Craigery voice, the what?
Craigery is now 2 for 2 on fucking ominous ass messages.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
One from Decimal, one from Asclepius.
This is true. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, I think that concludes our FPS.
Yeah.
Yes. This.
I'm not naming him Decimal Dewey. Fuck off, Kraken. Uh, let's end the recording before
Yes.
I have to yell at people for terrible surname suggestions.
Yes. Thank you for listening, everybody. This was a delight.
Amazing.
We'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
Bye.